Hello everyone, it's me, Juan, Give me 54 another video. Today, we are back with another video. Yes, we're back. And today, we're going to be reacting to Game Theory Giggleland. And basically, this is their attempt to solve it before it even came out. So yes, for those who don't know what Giggleland is, it's basically going to be a new indie game that's going to be coming out. Well, it's to be determined when it's going to come out. But recently it's been taking the world by storm. Well, I wouldn't really say by storm, but you'll mostly see it popping up through your feed maybe once or twice. So we're going to be figuring out what is going on with Giggleland. Well, Game Theory thought the same, so we're going to be seeing what their thoughts about it is. So without further ado, sit back, relax, grab yourself some popcorn, and let's go.
Can I solve Giggleland before it even releases? No, I haven't gone insane. Poppy did that to me years ago. The game isn't even out yet. All that exists is a Steam page and a single creepy YouTube trailer. But if you really pay attention, hidden inside them is a rabbit hole that tells us everything we need to know about this theme park.
It's always theme parks, man.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game
Why can't we just have a perfect theme park?
Stop smiling.
Ugh.
And what makes me smile is after a long day of theorizing, I like to kick back, open a pack of M&Ms, and watch some other YouTube videos so that I can just relax and switch off. But
that's
as the old
literally
adage goes, there's no rest for the wicked. While I was just minding my own business, YouTube showed me an ad for a new indie horror game, Giggleland. Now, despite my sorted food watching experience being rudely interrupted, I have to admit I was intrigued. And so I watched the full video, and it ticked all the usual boxes. Abandoned theme park, creepy mascots, the works. But the game wasn't actually out yet, so I took a mental note to talk about it once it released, and then I saw the description. It was all in binary. Binary that translates to a Discord server link. Clearly, there was more to this thing than met the eye. And now there was a server full of theorists who also wanted to solve what I very quickly realized was an ARG. One of the hardest ARGs I've ever seen.
What?
But thanks to the community's hard work and dedication, as well as a little bit of elbow grease from us here at Team Theorist, I believe we've not only solved the puzzles for this ARG, but the story of the game before it even releases. As always, links for the server and the master doc this community has made will be in the description. But without further ado, let's explore the mysteries of Giggleland. You will laugh, you'll cry, and you'll never stop smiling. Once you join the Discord server,
I just know there's gonna be some jump scares in this video. It always does. And why is it every single time in an indie game, there's always something perverting something that, you know, should be not so scary? Theme parks, toy factories. Okay, well maybe the toy factories are debatable because ain't nobody want to be near those equipments. Pizza joints like, you know, Chuck E. Cheese. We can't even go to an animated studio before we see ink demons now. When can there be something normal, man? Anyways, I'm sorry. Just keep going.
First thing you're told to do is to visit the website, which hasn't been linked, so we're off to a great start. Thankfully, Discord user FaceMelter9000 somehow managed to find it. Giggle.land. And like that, we're off to the races. Although it's not exactly what you'd expect from an indie horror website. It's more like the back end of a website, though by clicking on admin, you do find the actual website for the theme park. And immediately things feel off. There's a picture of two characters named Elliot and Ella, except according to the assets folder, their names are actually Tolly and Rory. Elliot and Ella are different characters, the cat and dog from the trailer. There's also a page full of cartoon cats, loads of glitchy text that can't be translated, and reviews reminding you to be happy. I did notice a pentagram and upside down cross in a few places, so we might be dealing with some classic demon mascots here, but there's just not a lot to go off of. So I went back to the Giggle.land page to see whether there was more lore to find within those links. And boy, was there. When you go to star.html, you get this. When infants are left to cry it out, their cries go through a predictable sequence of behaviors. A baby left to cry it out will eventually stop crying. But it won't be because distress has been eliminated, but rather the baby learns that there is no longer any hope.
Dang.
That's depressing. What's worse is that isn't just a depressing line written for an indie horror game. This is actual parenting advice from the book Texas Child Care Fall 20.
What?
References the work of Erik Erikson and his theory, his psychology theory, on the stages of a child's psychological development. This quote specifically focuses on the first stage, trust versus mistrust. Basically, how a baby learns to trust that their caregiver will meet their basic needs, and how consistently they will be met. If they are met, a child develops a sense of trust, which Erikson believed was the basis for personal identity. But if their needs aren't met, then a child becomes fearful of the world around them. The way to make parents sleep training their kids feel bad, my dude. But
wow, that is messed up, man. I'm not gonna put my 2 cents, but dang. That's depressing.
We're being pointed to this psychologist whose key work was about how letting children cry out is bad. And we've also got a website full of quotes about not feeling pain and being unable to stop smiling. Seems like Erik Erikson might be a fundamental part of the Giggleland ethos. As if the park was developed to help rebuild that trust, make them feel happy all the time. It sounds lovely on paper, but this is an indie horror game.
Yeah.
So no corporation is a good corporation, and they definitely aren't doing things above board. Back on Giggle.land, there's a...
Yeah, let's be honest. We just got done watching... Well, we did a video reacting to Joyville, right? Yeah, Joyville. And that purpose of Joyville was to make people smile. To have, you know, a wondrous childhood that unfortunately the founder didn't have when he was a child. Again, we done this on Joyville, so I'll probably leave a link in the description box for you guys to watch Joyville. It was honestly a different sort of video that I would usually do, but it was fun. But yeah, link is in the description box if you want to watch that.
PDF called Report November 23rd,
1990.
It's a missing persons report for an 8-year-old girl named Laura. While watching TV, Laura was told by her mother it was time for bed, and she turns off the TV. This starts a fight where Laura insists on watching to the end of the episode to see what happens. Laura's mum does end up giving in, but once the TV comes back on, the show has already ended. Laura went to bed devastated, and the next morning, Laura was gone with all her clothes, stuffed animals, and drawing pad. Laura's mum speculated that it was her ex-husband. They were divorced and he had a bad habit of hurting Laura. All signs seemed to be pointing to him. But with what we know about Giggleland's desire to make sad children happy, I have a feeling they were the ones who abducted Laura. Why else would there be a missing child report on a website about a theme park when it was a home abduction? Besides just filling out my indie horror bingo card. If they are following the works of Erik Erikson, they likely believe that what they're doing is a net good. And so kidnapping kids, forcing them to be at Giggleland, it's worthwhile because they will get a better future. Needless to say, I had a lot of questions. Fortunately, there was a contact page with an email address for someone named Josh. So immediately I sent them an email and got an instant reply. Surprise, surprise, it was just an out-of-office auto reply. Why put an email somewhere if you're not going to respond to it? Because this is an ARG and nothing is quite as it seems. Looking at Josh's sign-off, there was a link. www.kidsmediaworkshop.com. This website is for the company Kids Media Workshop, and their goal is to make cartoons with characters like Elliot and Ella that help teach children about the powers of kindness and friendship, to stand up to bullies and, quote, other negative forces. One of the episodes is actually
other
available
negative
to
forces.
Watch. If you head to the Steam page, one of the developers' names is, let's say, unconventional. And while I suppose it's plausible that a child could be named a bunch of random letters and symbols, in reality, this is actually part of a YouTube URL that takes you to episode 3 of Elliot and Ella. In it, Elliot is getting bullied, but he and Ella decide to, quote, remove the weeds from the garden. There's a bunch of glitches, the bullies look at them with horror, and before you know it, the bullies have been buried in the dirt.
Dang.
Yay? I mean, standing up to your bullies is good and right, but burying your classmates was definitely frowned upon where I grew up. That being said, I think we found our monster mascots. However, the kids and their parents don't really seem to mind this. In fact, they love it. And that's because the show isn't just for kids, it's by kids. In the Parent Zone, KMW says it's providing support for parents who have children with trauma. The staff are trained psychologists who provide respite care, separating the kids from their parents, learning about their issues, and then creating similar stories for Elliot and Ella to play out to help them. On the About page, we're also told that the children...
I'm sorry, excuse me? I was about to say that they were... You mean to tell me that they are showing this, and they're based this cartoon, and they think that, oh yeah, this is a great message. You got bullies? Bury them alive. Yay. Feels a lot like a Man of the Adventure at this point.
Were encouraged to write, draw, animate, and voice act for the show to help them express themselves. Or as I like to call it, free child labor. That, along with teaching kids to remove, quote, negative forces like the bullies, separating them from their parents, willing or otherwise, and insisting everyone should be happy. Yeah, I think we may be dealing with some kind of cult. One that is using the psychology from Erik Erikson to brainwash kids to build up trust and convince them to leave their sad homes like Laura and remove those who don't conform. Plus, there's this message from the KMW founder and, well, just...
Don't make me read this. Okay, I have to. We live to believe and create something you cannot take away from us. Can we let the children run across the land and catch their dreams they hold so close? Do you remember that freedom? You seem to have forgotten your innocence. How long do you continue to run from this feeling of imagination and being free once again? Now, will you listen and take our words as we speak, for we are here to lead you. You must stay and take care of what is dear, so you may never believe you are not good enough. Terry. Okay. So, Terry is the bad guy. Terry is the founder, and most likely the leader of the cult. What else can we say?
Listen, we live to believe and create something
so I didn't have to read it. Okay.
Now, will you listen and take our words as we speak? For we are here to lead you. Like, come on, Terry, sound less like a cult leader. This cult is absolutely trying to convert the world in their way of life and removing those who don't agree with it. And actually, if the kids are writing these episodes, does that mean that they saw what happens if you don't conform? Did they see the murder mascots like we saw in that episode? Just something to think about. Terry also has this weird habit of capitalizing certain letters, which, of course, I wrote down and put into all the ciphers I had, giving me nothing. I know, I was disappointed too. This had to mean something. You don't just randomly capitalize letters like that in an ARG.
Yeah.
It felt like we were missing something. Like there was a key to unlock their true meaning. And that is when Discord user Aurora and her team discovered something huge.
What?
After some intense searching through the website, they found that there was a secret audio file inside the missing persons report PDF. I've never seen anything like this before. What a crazy way to hide clues. Good job, Giggleland, and good job, Aurora and team, for finding it.
Give them a round of applause.
Wait, it's just a doorbell? No, that was my actual doorbell. Maybe the next clue is outside. Huh, it feels a little big for a clue. Surprise! Santi, what are you doing here? Well, you've just arrived in the US, meaning your fridge is empty.
Come on. I know what this is.
I think your viewers might. So, here's this audio file. And it's password protected.
Alright, so apparently Tom has put Santi back in the box and literally write return to sender. This beef is crazy, man. I don't know. I always like it. I don't know if I like it, but it's amusing to say the least. I really do enjoy myself whenever they have the constant beef. I'm sure it's just for fun. But anyways.
Good. It never ends, does it?
Never.
So, once again, it was time to go over everything we had to see if there was something I'd missed. And indeed, there was. On Giggle.land, there was a bug report, which seemed like any standard game bug report. But what I'd failed to notice the first time was this one line that's highlighted. Finally, a code I recognize. Base 64, which gives us the name Sarah. We've not met a Sarah yet, but who am I to question it? Sadly, though, Sarah is not the password.
Dang it.
Not on its own. I do, however, remember this ARG mentioning Base 64 once before. In the description of the secret Elliot and Ella episode, below the binary code, it says Base 64 plus PDF. We've used Base 64 for Sarah, so now we need to unlock the second half with a PDF. And the only PDF we've encountered on this website so far is the missing report about Laura. The question is, what part of the PDF do we use? Discord user Tamer suggested using the highlighted number at the top of the report, 513-769800.
Okay.
And when you know it, it worked.
Happy birthday to our dear... We really wanted to celebrate your special day with you. It's a shame your mother took you away before the start. Maybe when you're older we can find each other. We'll give you a gift you'll never forget. We love you.
Oh, come on!
It's me. We'll give you a gift you'll never forget. We love you.
Even through the distortion, it's clear Elliot is saying Sarah, the name we needed to open the file. Is Sarah another missing kid like Laura? Laura's mother took her away from the show she was watching before she could see the ending. Maybe before she could be brainwashed to make her happy all the time. Although KMW made it seem like that was happening at the physical Giggleland. So did Sarah's mum take her away from the psychologists before they could fix her? Theorizing aside, remember, this isn't actually the piece of the puzzle we were looking for. We were looking for...
I mean, it could be possible. It might be that maybe, just maybe, okay? Let me, read me out on this one, okay? Let me cook. What if Sarah had a hunch? Maybe, like, Sarah's mother had a hunch. Maybe she was creeped out by the whole, you know, she was creeped out about what's going on in Giggleland. Maybe she had a friend who... maybe a friend who had a family member who been going through some stuff, and you know that basically caused in terror. Maybe it's the same mother that had, like, you know, her child ran away, or you know, because of the abusive husband or something. I don't know. Maybe like Sarah's mother picked up a thing or two about what's going on, and you know, she tried to immediately take her daughter away from all this. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Sarah might be our main character. I mean, like, it could be. I'm saying again, this game is not out yet, so everything can change really. But I'm pretty sure it might be that Sarah might be our main character. I mean, what else are we going to be playing as? An employee coming back to face our past crimes? Like we haven't done that a million times. But anyways, continue.
Key to solve this jumble of letters, and that key is now right in front of us. As I tend to do with all random audio I get in an ARG, I put it into a spectrogram, and doing so reveals a 6x6 grid with a selection of boxes blacked out. What was that random mess of letters we found earlier? 6 lines of 6 letters. Laying the text over the grid and selecting the letters that were in the blacked out boxes, you get a single word: crying. They're really leaning into this Eric Erickson quote, aren't they?
Yep.
They continue to do so because if you take the word crying and put it at the end of the Kids Media Workshop URL, you find this box. It congratulates us for finding the key, and suddenly a picture of Eric Erickson comes out of it because why not? So the weird doesn't stop there. There's another link on the KMW homepage labeled The Captain's Sails, and when you click it, it asks you to download a file full of images. These images are particularly peculiar because they are simply colored dots, but each file is named a different number. People
12,
tried combining
26,
all of them, combining just
114.
the reds or the blues, but whatever they did, it didn't reveal anything. We all knew these colors were important because Discord user Joan found a hidden page on the KMW site that gave us the hint red, blue plus green. We just couldn't figure out how. In fact, we were struggling so much that Giggleland themselves entered the chat. Yep, they took pity on us and gave us another clue. Eric Erickson had some great books. Well, we've already been talking about one of his books, Childhood and Society, the book about the stages of child development.
Okay.
This is where it gets real interesting, theorists. If you take a digital copy of the book, specifically the second edition, you can overlay display the colored dots on the corresponding page the image is named after, and the dots will then highlight certain letters. Noting down what letters are revealed by each color, and then using the red, blue plus green clue from earlier, we get a really long combination of letters and numbers. Again, I tried my usual ciphers. Again, nothing worked. So again, Giggleland had to speak up. They said to use a KDF, or key derivation function. This is basically an algorithm designed to generate secure passwords from a single key value, turning a simple password into a much tougher string of characters, exactly like we have here. All we need to do is reverse it, and for that, we need a key we've actually been given already. Back on the page with the Ericsson box, we were told we found the key, and to get there, we had to use the word crying. Discord user
so crying is the password again, right?
And once they decrypted it, we got a new YouTube video. All we can see is a very dark room with TV audio playing episode 3.
You won't actually pull the root out.
However, that's not what's interesting here. What's interesting is the video's transcript. It does not match the audio we're hearing. Instead, it says this. She speaks to herself. Alone, she begins to stand. Reaching her hand, she begs for some light. Answers. That is all she wants. Her travels are only just tumbles. She who speaks, oh, 6. Hey, you and me both, poem. I'd like some answers too. Like,
indeed.
Who the heck are you talking about? Wait a minute. The letters at the start of each sentence.
Sarah.
S-A-R-A-H. Sarah. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. This video is called Second Hijack, and in the description it says, "Where did you take her, Debbie?" I speculated earlier that Sarah's mum maybe took her away from Giggleland before they could do any of the weird psychological experiments on her, based on what Elliot said in the audio recording. If Debbie is Sarah's mum, then it would appear like I was on the right track. Although we have seen a Debbie show up once before. She is one of the children on the parent zone saying how happy she is.
Yeah.
If the site is up to date, then she can't be the mother. She's just another child. But if the site hasn't been updated in a long time, then there is a chance Debbie has grown up, had a kid, and then taken them away from the horrors they experienced as a child. My mind was racing, theorizing.
I mean, it could be, to be honest, because there might be, there are going to be some chances that sooner or later we're going to have, like, when does Giggleland was first created? It might be that they'll try. I feel like they're going to make Giggleland, like, somewhat like Walt Disney. Well, not Walt Disney, Disneyland. All right, they're going to make Disneyland. Basically, they're making Giggleland like being around the same time as Disneyland, because we all know Disneyland still lives on. We pretty much have. I'm pretty sure one of us has grandparents who went to Disneyland, and Disneyland is still a thing to this modern day. So it could be, there might be a stage set for like Debbie. She was once there at Giggleland. She was able to evade the horrors that was befell in Giggleland. And so when she had a child, something tells me that the first thing she knows is that, one, I need to get my kid out of here. Shoot, they'll probably move it to somewhere far away Giggleland hasn't touched before. Maybe a remote city or something. Or, I don't know, maybe a foreign country. I don't know. It's basically somewhere where, nothing Giggleland can touch their daughter. The daughter. Yeah. And about the boyfriend? I don't know. My mind is just racing right now. I feel like this might be the case. Debbie, she survived the horrors, and, well, now she's trying to make sure her daughter doesn't go through this horrors. But it would mean that either we play as Debbie, as in we know that, Debbie survived these games before, so maybe Giggleland kidnaps Sarah, and now Debbie is just coming back to, go through these nightmares again to save her daughter, or we're playing as the daughter, and we just decide to come out here by choice. Maybe we're playing as a defiant daughter or something. Maybe she's been having a hard life since Dabby passed away. I mean, it's something. Again, it's speculation. I mean, we could play as a rowdy team. I mean, let's be honest at this point. But anyways, continue.
About the possibilities, only for that to be interrupted by Sin of the Soul from the subreddit R Weird, who came across a Tumblr account about a girl stuck in her house. The name of the account was Sarah is Speaking 06. She Who Speaks. This is Sarah's account, and it is a treasure trove of lore.
Why?
She is a girl graduating high school, and much like the transcript of the poem said, she is talking to herself, looking for answers, and is stuck inside her house with her mum constantly keeping an eye on her. This is everything we've been looking for. For example,
rebellious daughter, I told.
One day her mum leaves the bedroom door unlocked and Sarah begins to snoop around, finding her mum's sketches of, get this, Elliot and Ella. I'm getting a real good feeling about her mum being Debbie from the Parent Zone. Those kids were encouraged to draw, to express themselves, to make the show. And sure enough, as time went on, we got that confirmation. People began messaging Sarah directly on Tumblr, and someone asked if they knew someone called Debbie, to which Sarah responded, I have a mum named Debbie. And when Sarah asked about her mum's drawings, it was revealed that her mum was raised in a commune with her uncle, who helped teach kids how to draw and express themselves. Check, and
no!
Debbie is Sarah's mum, and she is the same one from the website, the little girl raised in a commune that was helping to make a
Clap it up.
And as you'd expect, things aren't quite right with this little commune. They aren't allowed to leave. And Debbie mentions there weren't many adults, lots of children. What did we see earlier in the ARG? Laura, a child being abducted in 1990. And if you look real close at the KMW logo, you can see that it was actually established that same year, 1990. Children are being taken and put into the commune because, as Eric Erickson taught, their childhood years are the most formative, and if raised right, they and the world will have a brighter future. I knew the founder sounded super cult leadery. However, Debbie did escape, and actually, I believe she did so because of the very psychology KMW were using. We talked earlier about Eric Erickson's theory on psychological development, and how in the first year, children learn trust versus mistrust. Well, clearly, KMW didn't read any more of the book, because there are actually 8 stages in this theory that all apply to different ages. Now, thanks to Sarah, we can actually figure out how old Debbie was while in the commune and what stages she went through. Sarah's account ends in 06, implying that she was born in 2006. She's also graduating high school, making her 17 or 18, which would then match up with the year 2024, the same year the KMW website was last updated. So 2006 feels like a good birth year. In one post, Sarah makes a comment wondering what life would be like in the commune. So clearly, she didn't grow up there.
You don't want to know.
We also had messages like, where did you take her? So the commune know of Sarah's existence, meaning Debbie either left when she was pregnant or when Sarah was so young that she now doesn't remember. We also know Debbie was part of the commune when she was 11, based on that Parent Zone comment. And it seems like KMW became public in 1993, according to their website. We don't know for sure if that comment has been there since the beginning, but if it was, that would mean Debbie was 11 in 1993, and so would have been 24 in 2006 when she gave birth and left. Debbie was part of the Giggleland commune for over a decade, and therefore she'd have gone through Eric Erickson's stage 5 and 6. Stage 5 is identity versus role confusion. This happens between the ages of 12 and 18 years old, when a child begins asking questions like, who am I? Where am I going in life? Erickson says that to help them find identity, you need to allow a child to explore in order that they can form their own sense of self. If instead they are forced to conform to set ideologies, the child faces an identity crisis, leading them to long for a different way of life. Exactly like what happened to Debbie. Forced to never leave, to conform to the commune's way of life, and eventually it caused her to run away to figure out who she was. But not until she got to stage 6. Intimacy versus isolation. This stage develops between the ages ages of 19 and 40. At this age, we as people are seeking close relationships that are based on trust, emotional openness, and mutual support. If the individual finds these relationships, their mental health will be significantly improved and they'll be happy. But if they don't, it can lead to isolation, psychological distress, depression, and anxiety. Due to her crisis from stage 5, Debbie began to become isolated. She could only see the commune and the people in it for what they really were. Manipulative, closed off, only looking to advance their mission of saving kids and removing those who caused pain. Even when she found a romantic partner to conceive Sarah, it wasn't real. She was just trying to gain the intimacy that she craved. See, the psychology they were using to get these kids to trust them and make them happy was the very thing that pushed her away. Now, she has escaped, but as Eric Erickson said, the damage was already done. She has isolated herself and her daughter out of paranoia that someone is going to take her away, which ironically is leading Sarah to follow in her footsteps. Sarah is 18 and so is also in the identity versus role confusion stage. And just like her mum before her, she is being isolated, forced to conform to her mum's way of life. Now we are beginning to see her rebel. She's starting to snoop around.
God dang it, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think we now know what we gotta do. We gotta burn down Giggleland. We gotta burn it down once that game comes out. Because... Alright, but my question is, are we going to deal with some mascots? Are we going to deal with, what, animatronics, mascots? Mascots being possessed by the toy, by, I don't know, human souls? Are we going to deal with, you know, human beings wearing the mascot suits? I mean, hey, a person wearing a mascot suit. You know, it's better than living toys, animatronics, and living cartoons. So, I mean, like, hey, man. Just an ordinary cult wearing suits of, you know, cartoon kids back in the old days. It's not the most exciting. I mean, it's not demon possession or nothing, but, you know, just a typical cult running around in cartoon character masks. And there's multiple of them. I can see it. But let's be honest, it's most likely Giggleland is going to follow the trope of supernatural demon, you know?
To find the truth, and it's driving her towards Giggleland more and more. When Elliot said, maybe when you're older we can find each other, we'll give you a gift you'll never forget, that was foreshadowing the events that I believe we're going to see unfold in the actual game. Oh yeah, remember there's a game attached to this thing? Recently, Sarah began answering more questions on her Tumblr. In those answers, she mentioned having a blue bunny toy with an accessory, and that she likes wearing beanies, which matches up suspiciously well with the two characters I mentioned right at the beginning of this episode, Tolly and Rory, who, based on the screenshots on the Steam page, appear to be the lead characters in this game. On the website, we're told that the real Giggleland is being turned into a game, the game we're about to play, making this an in-universe game. So either this is going to be a retelling of Sarah's story with Tolly representing Sarah, or worse, Sarah is going to head to Giggleland and end up being trapped in the commune, forced to help create this game, using her experience and Tolly to tell us what happened, just like the kids' cartoons did all those years ago. The only problem is we won't get a happy ending, because that would mean Sarah is still stuck in the commune in order to make the game and tell us the story. Maybe we'll get to find out what happens to her, but I have a feeling it's not going to be good. Regardless, I think it's clear that Sarah is going to escape her mum's confinement and head to Giggleland to find out what she's been keeping from her, only to discover the horrors her mum was trying to protect her from. A cult that kidnaps kids in order to help them be happy, while using them to help brainwash other children with their weird worldviews.
Great.
See anyone that gets in their way or anyone that causes pain as a weed that they can remove from this world, maybe with a little help from some murdery mascots. Although we've not actually seen much of these mascots during the ARG. In fact, there are a couple of mysteries left unsolved, but Sarah's Tumblr account is updating every single day. Like, as I'm finishing writing this this episode, she found an old Elliot and Ella VHS, which not only had her mum's name in the credits, but also her dad's, Simon, the other kid from the parent zone. Seems like he's still part of the commune. Maybe he's the one communicating with Debbie. Maybe he's going to be the one that tricks Sarah into staying before the game takes place. I guess we'll just have to wait and see for more ARG updates, or for the game to release. But in the meantime, remember, that's just a...
Nah. That's Snake. Of course, the father being the... Honestly, I feel like the father could do it. I can picture it now. We start the game, Giggleland, and it's, Rory is trying to meet up with her father. Her father promising to make this a special day. And he wants to meet up in Giggleland. And then, horror ensues.
Theory. A game theory.
But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like the video so I know you guys enjoy. Comment down below what you guys think. Honestly, I'm excited about Giggleland. I'm kind of hoping it's just, no horror. I mean, not supernatural creature, okay? Just give us, an old-fashioned cult just running around in furry mascots. We're pretty much done with the supernatural, okay? We're done with the supernatural. Just give us, an ordinary, just crazy group of people wearing mascot suits and just do their cult thing. I'm pretty sure that's fine. Because at this point, how much more supernatural we gotta get? We got Remnant, we got the Ink Machine, we got time traveling through ball pits, and now with a stuffed bunny from Joyville. Which, again, Joyville, the reaction to Joyville will be in the description box below if you guys want to check that one out. We got turning kids into toys and Playtime Co. We got... What else? We got demons stuffing people into the game with Andy Apple Farm. We got... There's so much more. There's just so much supernatural going on, man. There's just so much supernatural. So maybe, just maybe, give us just the ordinary, just normal crazed person just running around in furry suit trying to kill us. That is all we need to know. That's all we need to deal with. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be the video. I'm just gonna leave out right now. I'm just gonna go. So this is Juan Gamer 54 signing off.